Hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will and we are back in Empires of the Undergrowth, and today we are going to be playing as some exploding ants, because well, last week the new DLC released for Empires of the Undergrowth, so let's jump right in. It's under Arcade, Extra Levels, and it is this one, the Harvest Firebreak. So we are back in the Leafcutter Ants mission, where the two Leafcutter Ants were actually vying for control of the area. And during that battle between them, we, as the Exploding Ants, arrived here. Well, it used to be called Campanotus, but it's now Colobopsis. And we arrived here as well as a fire ant colony. This one is going to be interesting. But without any further ado, let's jump right into an explosive episode of An Ecologist Plays. Hey guys, this is Future World, just quickly popping in to just note that there is actually a bit of an anomaly in this mission, in that the species we are playing as, the Colobopsis explodens, does not actually co-occur with leafcutter ants with the Atacephalotus. In fact, the Colobopsis explodens species is confined to Thailand, Malaysia and Borneo. It does not actually occur in the New World at all. There are some Colobopsis species in Central America up to North America. There are a bunch in Europe and a whole bunch in Asia and Australia. But there are none of them actually down in South America itself, which is very, very interesting. Just a quick little note on that. So just during the mission, do keep in mind they don't actually co-occur, and the fire ant would also not be indigenous in the area where Colobopsis explodens does occur. So for all intents and purposes, see this as an alternate reality where the fire ants are invading Southeast Asia, where there are actually, in this case, Colobopsis explodens, and let's suppose that the leafcutter ants are also actually indigenous. Now, Colobopsis explodens does have a bit of a feud with Ocophila species, the weaver ants, which do occur in Southeast Asia, but yeah, I guess we'll talk about that in future. Anyway, back to the episode. Enjoy! And here we go, this is our queen of the Colobopsis. So this is in the Campanutini tribe, which includes carpenter ants and an ant we in South Africa call the bulbator, meaning ball biter, because yeah, if they bite you there, it's very, very sensitive. Anyway, so these guys are going to be our colony, and we are going to come face to face with fire ants, and of course the leafcutter ants as well, but probably not them, because they are most likely going to be wiped out by the fire ants so quickly it's not even funny. This queen has unfortunately established a colony in an area where fire ants most likely will be controlling it. So let's see if we can make a difference and actually get her and the colony to survive. First things first is we are just looking for some food that we can then use, of course, to get our colony up and running. And there we go, finally taking some food across to the queen, and now of course a few more workers hatch. Finally they can get really up and running here. As soon as we can, we are going to just make some normal workers, minor workers here, just to quickly help out around the nest. Because the thing is, with the exploding ants here, we are going to have sacrifice. That's what we're going to have. It's a form of altruism. Altruism being basically for the greater good at your own expense. And that's exactly what these exploding ants will do. They will explode so that the colony can survive, but it is going to be at the expense of themselves. Now the thing is, we've got to work very, very quickly. We need to get as many workers as possible to actually head outside to start collecting food before the fire ants in essence take everything, because if we take too long, they are going to take all the food and there'll be nothing left for us. So we've got two bigger ants here. We'll get back to them in a moment. They are the ones that can explode. I am just going to set them that they do not explode. At the moment, we do not have the resources to waste on them going boom. Okay, you guys have finished collecting all the food you possibly could. Let's head outside, shall we? Now, there's a very interesting color palette for this mission here. I love the fact that it's a bit of a variation. It's not the typical green. It's a bit more of an orange hue to it. Orange, amber, brown hue to it. Oh, look at the smoke also coming through. I wonder whether there is, in fact, a fire or whether this is just a misty environment. We just have to keep an eye out because we're not quite strong yet. So we won't be able to survive if we are attacked by something like one of the katydids, and there are some katydids in the area. I think we should be able to defend ourselves against that Rove beetle. Oh, let's find out in a moment here. Yeah, if we have more of these bigger workers, we should be able to do that. There we go. Let's have them there. Okay. Yeah, we can in fact defend ourselves against the Rove beetle larvae. We're not very good at it, but we can. Now there is another one over here. We have lost most of our bigger workers actually carrying food back. There's a katydid. We don't want that. We don't want to go close to katydid. Katydid is over there. Safety in numbers, guys. Safety in numbers. Or ladies, actually. Safety in numbers. Let's get some more bigger workers going here. What is attacking us? Oh, it is another Rove beetle larva. That is perfectly fine. I just have to keep an eye out. Very vulnerable stage here. Let's head back to the colony because there is... Oh, there's a jumping spider. And a katydid. Oh, this may be bad. Okay, we can actually take out the katydid. It just takes probably quite a few workers to actually kill it. But there we go. It is in fact dead. As you can see, we've got the leafcutter ants here. They are doing their thing. They are collecting leaves. We've got other colony up here. They're doing their thing. They're collecting leaves. But they are going to be at a serious disadvantage. And soon, these guys over here, these ladies here, the fire ants, are going to be a real thorn in everybody's sides. Now the trick here, as far as I have seen, is to get as much food stored away as possible also because, well, soon we are going to need massive food stores in order to replenish our numbers, especially when we start taking on the fire ants. Because then we are going to start sacrificing some of our individuals. Now these ants in the Colobopsis genus are commonly called the gatekeeper ants, and that's because they have got heads which we call phragmotic. They're called phragmotic heads. Phragmotic means flattened and basically used as a defense mechanism by blocking tunnels. That's exactly what these guys will do, the bigger soldiers at least. Once we make them, the bigger workers here will do that. They technically plop down in the burrow and they just try to prevent anything from gaining access to the rest of the colony. So they are called phragmotic and they're gatekeepers in essence. It's really, really cool. But of course they have that other defense mechanism as well, which is to explode, and that's why we've got these little exploding ants starting to be made here. When threatened, they can rupture their exoskeleton and in the process release a lot of sticky compound, which will hopefully deter whatever is attacking them. Now this defense mechanism really doesn't work against massive vertebrate predators, but it most likely evolved as a defense mechanism against arthropods, especially against other ants and termites and things like that. Similar to the Neocapritermes that we will be playing as next week, the exploding termites. Yeah, they also evolved it, most likely as a nice defense mechanism against arthropods, against ants in particular, and other termites. Okay, we are under attack. Oh, we were under attack. Luckily, we have a nice bunch of bigger workers that we can now use to defend ourselves in our lines here. But this is a typical example of scramble competition. Scramble competition being when you are trying to grab as many resources as possible. We're not fighting for resources yet, we're just trying to get as much as we possibly can before everybody else gets it. Now later on this will switch over to what we call interference competition, which is when we are going to be competing with the fire ants, but we're not going to be very good competitors. In fact, we are going to be on the back foot very, very quickly. But in interference competition, what we would be doing is we would be setting up a territory, defending it against the fire ants. And in fact, the fire ants, they're going to wipe out this leafcutter ant colony. Unfortunately, shame, these poor guys. Now, we could try to use the time and attack this leafcutter colony over here and hopefully get a bunch of ant eggs. But I don't know, I think the best use of our time would in fact be to just keep on making more ants, more soldiers, more everythings, and then just scramble to get as much of the resources up here as possible. While the fire ants are kind of distracted, let's do this, shall we? There we go, we finished that pile over there as well. There is a dead leafcutter ant queen over here as well. Now, not all leafcutter ant queens, or not all ant queens, in fact, that set out to start a colony will start a colony. What have we got here? This is fine, and this will also be fine when we arrive here. So like this poor one over here, she came, she saw, she did not conquer. And there's another big katydid over here, but this katydid is also no match for us. There we go. Okay, just take that, harvest that. Lots and lots of food for us up here, and then of course next batch will be right over here. We're trying to get as much food as possible, as little effort as possible, as easily as possible in essence. Once we have exhausted as much of the above ground resources, we're then going to start focusing on clearing in the nest here. Now the Colobopsis here, as well as the other Campanotini, will very often form in rotten logs. They'll form their nests or at the bases of trees, those areas that can be hollowed out quite easily. We do, however, in South Africa, for example, have a few Campanota species that just make it in the ground as well. And some of them are in the Karoo, in the drier, almost desert-like region of South Africa, and there aren't a lot of trees in order to actually build their nests there. So yeah, they just put it in the ground in the middle of nowhere. These guys really, and there's vigorous fire ants as well, so they're like really aggressive when they hatch. And these leaf cutters are still around. Oh, now, I mean, I think those were the last ones there. I think this colony is basically dead now, leaving this colony as the next one. And then the fire ants will really just go and annihilate whatever they can find. There we go, the Camponotus swarm is really doing its best here. Now, it's not necessary for us to sacrifice any individuals yet in exploding, because we're not fighting the fire ants yet. The moment we start fighting the fire ants, yeah, that is the point where we will need to use our exploding ants to our advantage. Probably need a bit bigger storage, but we also will need another chamber of, let's say, exploding ants. Okay, let us just very quickly come and steal food over here next to the leafcutter ant colony here, because the fire ants are very soon going to start attacking them. And then this food will be taken by them. So let's grab as much of the food here as we possibly can. Again, scramble competition so far. We're not setting up territories, we are just grabbing as much as we can before it disappears. The nice dead whip spider over here as well. Of course, as mentioned before, and we've seen it quite a few times, when it was alive, it would have used its raptorial pedipalps over here to grasp onto prey and kill them, and puncture them, and then of course munch, liquefy them, and then eat them. Oh, I love whip spiders. Okay, guys, yeah, we are going to be encountering the little leafcutter ant colony again. Let's just quickly head up to this side, I think. Here comes the fire ants as well. There is the fire ant colony. Yeah, I think let's head for the food up here, because this is the last bit of food that we can now get. We don't encounter the fire ants, because here they come. They are heading into that nest. Ooh, you know what? We should get ready also. Once we've grabbed all the food up here, we should get ready to just quickly grab all the food here we possibly can. And what we are going to do now is we're going to start upgrading just these gatekeepers in essence, because they're going to be very good at just blocking the entrance here, so that the fire ants don't just come in and destroy us. Okay, so they're going to be very, very important to upgrade, and we'll talk about that in a bit. There was a mantis there. No match for our superior numbers. Now, unfortunately, I think the leafcutters were also no match there. I think we are going to be encountering the fire ants soon. Oh yeah, in fact, they are the fire ants right there. Oh goodness, please, please, please don't come to me now. I think they are already heading directly for me. No, this was not part of the idea. This was not the idea. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have one group of exploding ants right here. We're going to have our gatekeepers right here. Are you coming for me? No, you're not. Okay, great. In that case, grab some food over here. Actually, lots of food down here. Let's do this, shall we? Oh, you grabbed a harvestman. You look like very, very, very funny there. Carrying the harvestman back. Looks like you have 14 legs there, little ant. Well done on growing your extra 8 limbs there. So here comes the fire ants. They're still getting food. They're getting ready to actually come and invade us, which means that we still have time to grab as much of the food over here as we possibly can. And I do believe they have carried away all the eggs from this nest. Let's just double check here. Yeah. There are lots of little foods here. Oh, there are some eggs, but oh man. No, I don't think we should be going for that food. That's very little. Like in the nest itself, there are all these little bits of food that we are going to be tempted with instead of going for the big juicy eggs. Let's stick to what Colobopsis would do. That we're going for mostly plant matter. Oh, but I love how they run. Oh goodness. Okay, the fire ants are here. The fire ants are coming to this side. And soon they're going to come, they're going to invade from the top. Okay, it's time to go in the nest. And we are going to just remove here. Dig out and grab as much food as we can inside. That's going to be our new strategy. It's safe in here. There we go. Grab as much of this food as we possibly can. Gatekeepers, you guys are not going to explode. You are just going to remain here and protect, because here comes our nemesis, the fire ants. If they enter the nest, your job is to just hold the line. Here they go. And once we have the fire ants coming in here, you can see that one there, for example. He's technically just standing still. What he is doing is he is increasing the defense of our other ants here, which is really awesome. And if you look here, these guys, the special ability there, takes reduced damage from the front, generates threat, and underground area of effect ability becomes stationary and increase armor of nearby allies. That's exactly what they've been doing there. They kind of block the entrance, as mentioned. They block it, and the idea is that ants cannot penetrate deeper into the nest. Okay, here they come again, though. Once we feel that we are being overrun, I am going to just take my explodey off, and then they can go boom. But for now, we are able to defend the nest without exploding. We don't want to unnecessarily lose individuals here. Yeah, there we go. Even these minor workers are quite alright. Now, the Colobopsis genus is in fact dimorphic. So unlike some of the other species that we have played as, like the bullet ants last time, which were monomorphic, which only had the one shape, the one sized worker, these guys have got two. They have got the minor workers and they have got the major workers. And currently our major workers are holding the line here. Our minor workers are just still foraging for food here at the back. Okay, you guys can come over here, in fact. Okay, these guys are doing quite well, I must say. I am really, really proud of them. We are going to use some of our food again to just increase these to tier 3. The fire ants, of course, constantly congregating over here, making sure that they've got the numbers to attack us. And then they attack and we repel them. We are very good fighters underground, not so good above ground. So we are trying to defend ourselves. We're trying to just let the fire ants waste their resources. That is the idea. And they're going to send wave after wave after wave against us. And as long as we lose fewer resources than they do, it's a win. An absolute win for us. Now there is a slight lull in the fighting, so we are going to send our workers out to this area over here, just to collect as much food as they possibly can above ground here. While our other Colobopsis here are just getting ready to fight some more creatures over here. More little Rove beetle larvae, and then a lot of food up here. Okay, the fire ants are more interested in this area here. They are getting very close to where we are, in fact, going to be gathering food. They seem to almost be heading out this way down here to the leafcutter ant colony, but hopefully we get this food over here. Yeah, we will get this food before they do. Every bit of food that we can take before the fire ants take it is food we have taken away from their army, and food that we have given our army. This is incredibly important. At least in my opinion, it's incredibly important. Now we have almost taken all the food over there. Now there is a bit of food over here that they will most likely be going for. If they don't, we are going to go for it very, very soon. I'm very close to this pine cone here, and I'm really considering just dashing through to get as much food here as I can before the fire ants do come down to it. Are you going to come down to it? No, not yet, not yet. Oh, we're playing with fire, literally. Oh, never mind. Okay, they're coming for us. They're coming for us. Head back, guys. Head back. Back to the nest here. Okay, you guys sacrifice yourself by just getting them to focus on you, while the majority of the colony actually makes it back. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Rove Beetle, for also sacrificing yourself. And yeah, they come. They are in the nest now. A new wave of fire ants has arrived. But this is still fine. We can still repel them. No problem. Look at that big one there. Holding it, well, it was holding its gaster in the air. Very often the Campanutini will run around with the gasters, the abdomen, in the air. Oh goodness, okay, these are velvet worms. They may be a bit of a problem for our little Campanotus here, so you know what, we're going to go boom. And there we go. Sacrifice. So the way they do that is by building up pressure in the, I think it's in the mandibular gland. Basically, the gland that extends from the mandible extends down through their body, and then they just rupture that. And the idea then is that it secretes a horrible compound that kills, well, harms the attackers. Now, we did get more food from that explosive breaking through the velvet worms than we lost by exploding, so that's fine. That was a win. We are going to need more workers actually just doing their thing in the nest here, so we're just going to expand this chamber of ours just to accommodate more workers. Because once we really start fighting the fire ants, yeah, this chamber that is helping getting the ants from the queen to the chambers, yeah, that's going to be a very, very important chamber. Okay, I was just about to say the fire ants are not attacking anymore, so we can actually just head on over and get all our big army to attack things like whatever is up there. But no, the ants are coming through again. Here comes the fire ants. Oh, okay. Things are looking a little bit bleaker here. So once we have finished fighting something up there, velvet worm, okay, and gotten some food over here, we're going to bring in our explodens. Never mind, it's not necessary. I think we've repelled them. Okay, wonderful. These ants really are very good fighters underground. I am super impressed. Okay, I think we've got a bit of a break, so we can just very quickly use our main army just to attack whatever is up here, grab the food up here. This is really now the point where we just start focusing on getting all the food we possibly can in the underground chambers. What have we got here? A big velvet worm here.
The battle has begun.
Sacrifice yourself, guys. Sacrifice. And the idea then is that it's going to harm that velvet worm. And there we go. Perfect. It does cost quite a few units though. But if you think that you can pull it off and you can get more resources than you lose, it's a valid strategy. In this case, I did believe that we would be able to get more resources than we lost there. Okay, the fire ants are almost coming back again, but they're not here yet. So what we're going to do now is break through to this chamber. I see these fire ants are still collecting food. That's their main priority at the moment. Good. As long as you look around for food and you ignore me, I'm a very, very happy camper. And there we go. Okay, it's a Rove beetle. I'm pretty sure we can handle this. Rove beetle adult and larva. Of course, was spraying a noxious chemical there, trying to scare us away, and it didn't really work. Its larva is dead, and it is going to be up next. Very, very nicely colored, very beautiful Rove beetle there. We don't have ones in South Africa that are as beautifully colored. Okay, the fire ants have found this central bit of food as well. So this should keep them occupied for a bit. Let us then grab the food over here. Now, you don't need a massive colony to defend against the fire ants, because these guys are surprisingly strong. I am really, really happy to see that. And sometimes that's all you need. A lot of species actually will block off their tunnel. They will use that, not autothesis like these guys are exploding, but they will use basically phragmosis, use their phragmotic heads to block the entrances into their nests. There are some species, for example, in Africa that live in the thorns of acacia trees. And if Phydae megacephala, meaning big-headed Phydae, which is like for big-headed ants, that's just like they've got massive heads. But if they invade the area, the ants, some species, the species that actually fight back, they die out. Their colonies will disappear. But the ones that just huddle down in their burrows, basically in their thorns, in their little holes, block the entrances with their heads, those ones have a greater chance of surviving and just not going extinct, not disappearing from the area. Sometimes to sit and hide is a valid strategy. Oh, are they back? Oh, the fire ants are coming again. Okay, we are ready for you guys. I didn't even notice they were sneaking along here. They had run out of food together, so here they are, back again. And we're just going to sit here and take it. All our major workers here are now tier 3, so they really are able to put up a fight. A good fight. And eventually, these guys are going to run out of food. They're not going to be able to take us on anymore, and that's the point where we are going to counterattack. It really is just a matter of time now. We've got more than 1,000 food stored away. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. The thing is, with this map, no new food will spawn, so the food that is here is finite. It really is a case of scramble competition being what you should be using. You must run for the food as quickly as you can and grab as much of it as you can before everyone else gets it. Okay, if the fire ants don't really know what they want to do, then they're going back, then they're coming back, then they're going back to the nest, then they're coming back to us. Just up and down, up and down. In the meantime, we know what we want to do. We want to dig through to this area over here. Yeah, now occasionally some of them will pop through, and here, I think here comes the main invasion force. The main invading army. Here we go. Where are our ones? That one, there's the one that is just was increasing the defense of our ants. But this is a big army that is currently attacking, and it's just Okay, he's walking back now, but it was a big army. At the moment they get in here, they just get slaughtered. Now the last bit of food is right over here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to dig out and then let them come into the nest in essence. Or we may take out a few of them in the process. We've got our small group of exploding ants right over here. You know what, I really should upgrade them. I don't think it increases their damage that they do, but you never know. And here comes the last chamber. It's thankfully not velvet worms, it is just the Rove beetle larvae. We should be able to take them on, no problem. We're not going to sacrifice these workers of ours. It's not necessary to kill them that way to get rid of the Rove beetles. We can just do this normal way. And now it really is just a case of waiting out the storm, waiting for the firestorm to pass. Because slowly but surely, these fire ants are going to use all their resources. I mean, they are going to scramble now to potentially get a little bit of food still. We are also going to scramble. We're going to try and get to this whip spider here. Not sure exactly where these guys are going. Are they going to that queen over there? Then once this queen has been harvested, yeah, they're probably going to come for this whip spider as well. If they do, then that's bad. If they don't come for the whip spider, we've got an opening to gather a bit more food here. Not that we really need it though. So we can use it to just upgrade some of our explodies here. That's enough. I don't want to use any more food. You see, the fire ants have run out of food. They are really battling now. So they're hiding in their burrows. There's no more food up here really for them. There's a bit of food here and there, but not a lot. So they're just chilling. They're just waiting. Now what we are going to do is we are going to launch a counter-attack soon, and when we do, we are hopefully going to possibly wipe them out, although I highly doubt it. Most likely when we do attack them, we are going to battle a bit initially, and they're going to use more resources than us. I don't think they've got enough resources stored away to really last them a long time, which will then allow us during the second attack to really wipe them out. Now I'm just going to check because I think they grabbed all the food they could have from the leafcutter colonies, but just in case they haven't, we are going to just quickly go pop on over to the leafcutter colony here and see what is happening inside here. Yeah, there's nothing in here anymore, unfortunately. Okay, so in this case, I guess it's time for us to get ready to attack. Oh wait, the fire ants, are they mobilizing again? Let's just quickly go back to our colony, shall we? No, they're not. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I mentioned it, but orthothesis, auto referring to self, thesis, or thesis referring to sacrifice. So it's that behavior of them sacrificing themselves for the greater good, in essence. Okay, we really are... it's like these fire ants don't really know what they want to do. Yeah, here they come. Okay, they're first going to wipe out that velvet worm for us, which is great. And then they are going to encounter our army waiting on the wings here. Now, we don't have the ability to now... oh, there we go. We can explode. We've got that ability. I really should be using it only when we actually go and fight in the nest there. We are going to start squeezing. We are going to start squeezing soon. And heading into the nest, we are going to then start exploding to break our way through to the queen. Occasionally, I've been calling these Colobopsis ants Camponotus. There's a reason for that. Up until about 2015, they were actually seen as a subgenus of Camponotus. So they were called Camponotus instead of Colobopsis. And then 2015, a study was done that showed, no, listen guys, they are part of the Camponotini tribe, yes, but they're not in the Camponotus genus. They're more like cousins than sisters. There's a harvestman that's going to start preying on our column here, unfortunately. We are going to lose a few ants to them, unfortunately it seems, but that's alright. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, we also, more concerningly, we've got the fire ants around here. So here we go. Okay, we are going to get our explodies to come close and just go boom. Let them use more resources than we have been using. And now, let's just gather our forces in our nest again. You can see now, these ants, the fire ants, are now vigorous. They have just hatched. They are ready to fight. They are very, very aggressive. So with the Camponotus, which is also very interesting, is the entrances to their tunnels actually are exactly the same width as the phragmatic heads, or the flattened heads, of the workers and the queen even, allowing the workers and also the queen to block entrances by just plopping their head in front. You can kind of see there, the queen has got a very, very much flattened head. There we go. So this flattened head, oh man, look at that weird mouth of theirs. That's so strange, that flattened part there. You can see here the queen has a very, very flattened mouth part there. So they can block the entrance by just plopping that straight into the tunnel entrance, and then none shall pass. And then once an individual wants to come through the entrance, all they have to do is just reverse a little bit and they can walk past. But they fit snugly into the entrances. So right over here into entrances of the tunnels or entrances to the nest overall. They just plop down and there we go. Problem solved. None shall pass. Okay, it is time, I think, to get ready. Yeah, these ones aren't vigorous anymore. I think it's time for us to come and invade a bit. Hello guys, there are some vigorous ones I think still left, but the majority of them are not. Unfortunately, they are now coming for us, so what we're going to do is we're just going to hang back a bit with our exploding individuals, and then once we see a lot of them, yeah, I think let's... they're not strong enough to really take us on, so let's just hold back, invade the nest, and then we will get ready to explode in their faces. Oh, shame. They really are screwed. They've got no food left whatsoever. This is the point where we just go out with a boom, shall we? There we go. Send them flying. This is absolutely magnificent. And yeah, we have repelled the fire ants. Not by being super aggressive, but by biding our time. By just slowly but surely resisting their invasion and just making sure that we've got enough food to survive. And that's how you do it. That's what Colobopsis would do in such a situation. Just hide and repel the invaders, and when you have the upper hand, take them out. Easy as that. I love it. This is a lovely map. This is a lovely mission. This is an awesome species. 10 out of 10. I love it. Now this exploding gaster of the Colobopsis here is not just found in this genus, it is also found in the Camponotus genus, which they used to belong to. Which, you know, it's interesting that they evolved that strategy. But it is for the greater good, and let's just have a look here, because we are going to have them exploding soon. The way they do it is they increase pressure in their gaster, in their abdomen, and then once that happens, then they rupture it, and that spews that horrible compound on the attackers. And as I said, it works well against arthropod or jointed leg predators and victims. So harvestmen, spiders, other ants, termites, those types of creatures. Doesn't really work against mammals and birds and stuff like that. And my dad, for example, has had exploding ants go boom on his arm. And yeah, this does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. So let's just get them ready, and there we go. It's so quick. It's such... There we go. It was actually like huddling there, increasing pressure, and then it just went boom. Unfortunately, we can't actually raid the eggs here to take home to our nest to carry on playing, but that is fine by us. We have shown that we are the strongest of the ants in this area. So I guess that is also where we are going to be calling it a day, everybody. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on our little adventure here in the Undergrowth with the fire ants and the Colobopsis here, the exploding ants, and of course the leafcutter ants, even though they didn't last very long at all. Next week I'll be back, but I'll be playing as the exploding termites, the new Capritermidae, I will be playing as. So if you've got any questions or comments, please drop it down in the comments below. And until next time then, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!